Hi, this is the 12th December market review and forecast. This week is an important week. We had CPI tomorrow, Tuesday 13. And on Wednesday, we have the interest rate decision for the Federal Reserve of the United States. On Thursday, 15, we will have the European Central Bank interest rate decision. Those will be the primary market movers this week. Volume is low, starting to being reduced because most traders are on holidays. This is a period where volume slow downs, but still it will be most likely the last big move we are going to see before the end of the financial year 22. What we have for the market, the Fed are struggling with a still strong and resilient job and economic market. The Federal Reserve has started to uh, hike the interest rates, so they can see a reduction of growth on the economy without hurting that much the economic balance of the United States. And they want to reduce inflation because the less workers are available, the less persons getting paid, the less they are going to spend, and inflation will ease. Inflation is out of the normal numbers that are safe for the economy, but still market is continuing to grow. Past NFP this Friday showed that the market has still grown on numbers. Um, the Fed most likely will be looking at CPI, at the inflation rate, this Tuesday to have a clue if they are going to be more hawkish or dovish in the interest rate decision. Being already pricing that the hike will be between 25 or 50 points, with the 15 points most likely be the hike that we are going to get. They are still expecting a forecast number on the inflation. If they see that inflation rise unnormally above what they forecast, we could have a movement on Tuesday, and we could still have a movement um, on the interest rate decision, a hike of 75 points that is unexpected. Will could look at the DXY strengthening way above what is forecast and above what it has do, because this past week and the start of the week is starting to rebound because it's starting to see some dollar strength. But as you see, is pricing in the same way that the market is expecting the Fed to behave. Fed are expected to behave more cautious, not being that overly aggressive, but not dropping the interest rates hikes at all of the sudden without seeing a strong indication that inflation has eased. But if we see a higher than expected hike, we can see these areas broken on DXY. Um, this is the end of the year. If we look from start of 2022, we have seen how between this range that we had since November, this low volatility that we had in that last months of the past year, we have seen how the market uh, has continued to grow, but we have noticed here that market has started to pull back a little. And after this indecision in this area, we have seen as the market has pulled back and just retraced from all those highs of, I think that it reached 114. So we are 10 points below the highs of this year on the DXY. And only only an unexpected move could discontinue this downtrend that we are starting to see on the dollar. So this is the first time I'm doing a forecast, and how I'm going to do the forecast is the way that I have learned trading. Uh, First of all, I have been introduced to professional trading by a prop firm, City Traders Imperium. And there are two guys, two great traders, Diego Torres and Rodrigo Torres. They they had developed a smart money concept strategy called the bank level trading, or BLT, and it's a way of trading small money concepts, but with patterns and a point of interest. For me, has worked wonders. It had improved this past year as a trader and seeing consistent results. And even when I'm still not funded per se, or have not still make a living of trading, I'm using what I have learned to help other traders, maybe seek their education through City Traders Imperium, that is a great program that focus on helping traders, or only to monitor the process of how a trader that is in this first year full-time trading is developing. You can go back, see how I was at this point, how I'm going to be in 1 month, 1 year, God's willing, if I'm alive, and see how much you can improve by teaching others and showing what you have learned, mentoring, and uh, working on your backtesting and developing your skills as a trader. So, without further ado, I'm going to start my forecast. I'm focusing first my forecast for the week to get a main direction on the DXY, the dollar index. This keeps tracks the think 5 or 6 major crosses between the dollar, most heavily weight on the euro, the GBP, and the USD CAD. This shows how markets as reacting as buying or selling the dollar, that is the main principal currency of the world. Most of the cases, as you can see here, as dollar started to rise, uh, it did an uptrend, a heavy uptrend since 2021, a certain point. Then this coincides with the heavy highs of Standard and Poor 500, but most of the times when market is starting to climb on the DXY, the the Standard and Poor's 500 normally, uh, when it start to trend the DXY, trend up, the Standard and Poor's 500 start to go down, and vice versa. When uh, the US dollar starts to pull back or go down, we are in a risk on a market. This is not all the time, but you will see a consistency on that. So for now, we have seen a sharp decline past weeks on stocks and indices all around the world, including the Standard and Poor's and major two major US indices. It coincide with my own forecast. It was a private one. I'm not going to share it, but it's a forecast that I made past week that market most likely will try to grab orders from this way down and start climbing before retracing and start in the indecision market, because the market participants are still waiting for more clues to see how the Fed are going to behave and see where the dollar is going. So for my forecast this week, we have scenarios for tomorrow and for Tuesday. We can expect that the move is going to be bigger than this past candle that we have past week. Why? Because CPI is going to be more significant than NFP this past week, and we have seen this spike and pullback on Friday at the end of the weekly close, and also because we are still expecting to cash liquidity on some areas, on Wednesday interest rate decision, and even to see how the ECB is going to affect the SY. Thursday, it could be a day that if the European Central Bank move more aggressively than the dollar, we can expect a pullback and a heavy buying of the euro in weaken of the dollar. So I expect or further move up, and if CPI gets a weaker reading, we can see a movement in the weekly chart like this in this candle, then go down, and then we'll expect or observe how the interest rate decision will go to see if we continue to close a big down candle like this one, or if we are going to see a pullback and start the completion of the B wave on the Elliott wave forecast. We don't have patterns here. I'm not going to explain completely how the strategy works because it will be harmful for uh, the mentors that have made the strategy and how they are profiting from it. So I will only use it as a forecast with the patterns that I use, but I'm not going to go deep in specific how the strategy works. If you're interested, you can contact me and I could link you up with the City Traders Imperium staff so you can observe the strategy. As you see, uh, we saw a little up candle on today, starting yesterday, Sunday, in New York time on the open, but I'm still expecting to see how market behaved yesterday. It's pretty good for scalping these ranges. You know what you're doing. So still, I don't have any market pattern here, but on the 4 hour is going to be clearer because now we are still expecting to see how price move further up. And when we see this type of bullish pattern, we're expecting a equity drop. So this will be an area that will be looking for shorts if I have the correct signals. In the lower time frames, I will be pretty aggressive too because we see these ranges. Market is still looking to go up. If it's trying to break this area, these highs to confirm the bullish momentum, but it's stalling. But it's a nice place to be scalping on the lower time frames. For example, you see this pattern that I had, and this was the way I scalped last week. I scalped shorts here, I scalped longs here. So it's pretty good range to scalp. And as you see, this point of interest area or some that are related with smart money concepts, imbalance and order blocks. This area have a nice reaction, and this imbalance, this order block too, had a nice reaction afterwards. Let's see if this one got to the, it didn't trigger, but it was pretty close. So we will be observing, you are going to observe in your back testing that most of the time when we have uh, interest rate decisions or heavy, high impact news, you're going to see equal highs, equal lows areas, this one, this one. So we'll be expecting these areas to catch reversals and keep with the trend. I still don't see any clear pattern that I could draw using the concepts that I have learned in the strategy. Most likely, I will be looking at this and see if I can catch a breakdown. But this will be the areas, and I think that looking at how even today market has behaved, you see this grab of liquidity and up. You see how market haven't made a clear structure, like this one, for example. It will be pretty hard to read on the DXY until we have more price action. So I'm going to move up to the Euro USD. Like I said, is going to be the heavy mover because it have the potential to move the market with the ECB and the Fed having interest rate decisions both this week. Is almost the same as DXY. We can observe the how price react here and stalling. Maybe in the euro is more clear that price is going to try and break this area, this low. So we could see a nice move down the weekly chart, but remember that everything that we forecast, if I say that price is going to make a down move, I will not take a trade only knowing that. I will look for confirmations via rules and look how I will set up a trade with a good trading plan and something that help me. It's the same as DXY looking for a down move to the V wave pattern of Elliott wave, the daily chart. I think that this one is more clearer than it's starting to get clearer than the daily chart on DXY. Still, I will wait for a break for a swing trade of this low area, and even this low. If we're looking for a swing trade, I still see that price stalling, but pretty much it could reach this area and start to climb. I don't see that clear the patterns, to be honest. Even here, I will wait for a pullback before starting to draw a new daily pattern. The 4 hour chart is pretty much the same. I had a scalp last week in this area. 4 hour chart is going to be clear if we see a break. We could try and cash this point of interest area. If price confirm the bullish move, we could withdraw and update the pattern and look for maybe a scalp between the 106.4 and 106.7. So this could be a potential area for shorts if I have the clear signal. I don't have anything clear to draw here. 1 hour chart still unclear. I don't have anything. Market is pretty much in the range, even between the hours. Would be nice though for scalps on the 50-minute charts. I can see here one good scalp, and even here is a little difficult. This is a more clear pattern. This one, maybe if we have a small drop without much momentum like this one, we will look for scalp here. But will be one that I would say I will do. So moving on to my main windows. I mainly trade UC. It's my main pair for trading. Pretty consistent with it, and I know the inner working of it, like talking about specifically how it behaves. Some ways that I can say all the time about, like, sometimes not with the rules itself, but I know how it behaves, so I can predict it with pretty good consistency and take advantage of it. Uh, UC doesn't normally correlates with DXY. Even we did have a heavy weight on DXY. And this is my personal opinion of what I have observed. Sometimes it moves depending on how market Standard and Poor's move. Sometimes it moves depending on how oil move, and sometimes it moves depending on how DXY move. So that's why I say that for me it's a pair that I trade pretty consistently. I think that in November, every trade that I took on UC, I win it. But it is a pretty hard pair to read. On DXY, we could see a clear pattern. Price is approaching a POI on UC, but still I will wait for a big reversal. And the reason I will do it is because this indicator that I use it pretty much, the Elliott wave indicator from TradingView, still expecting a daily move toward this fifth wave on the daily chart. But still, it could be a pretty good area to scalp if the 4 hour chart or the 1 hour chart give a nice setup here. I'm looking at, uh, I don't have a clear 4 hour chart toward that POI that I have talked about. That would be this area here. Um, but in the 1 hour chart, I can see that maybe I could have a pattern. I don't have a pattern right now, the 4 hour chart, but in the 1 hour chart, I can see a pattern here. Retest has happened already on the lower time frame charts. In this case, when I have large wicks like this and this one that is make it uh, difficult to draw my trend lines and my patterns, I look for clear trend lines uh, before looking at the areas to trade. I will wait for price action to develop or scope on the lower time frames. In the 1 hour chart, still I don't have clear pattern to trade. Market on Monday sometimes is a little difficult, so my main analysis on Mondays and Sundays, when I do it on Sundays, is to see how the market is behaving, looking for the high liquidity areas that I can take advantage of, areas that I can say, okay, if I trade in this area, I have a high probability of catching a big move that it will move in my favor. And this is one of the main things that I look for these days. Sometimes small exceptions. We have a we have some market conditions that it help us with with taking trades on Monday, but it's rarely that that happens. AUD weekly chart is still not clear, still in a bearish range, but we're still looking at how it's going to behave on in the other time frames. Daily chart, I think that I think that we have some lag. We don't have the lag. We have a clear pattern here. I will look at a test of these areas before committing to a trade or even higher up here. But market has been making a compression. It haven't confirmed a wave on the Elliott wave. This indicator is pretty reliable when I see sometimes this kind of movements. Most of the time, and this is the case, we could have a mixed signal The daily chart, we're still expecting a fifth point down, but in some counter move like this one, we can ignore this piece of price action that we have made a clear Elliott wave pattern. It could still go up here before making the pullback, or it can start making the ABC move. So we are going to be waiting in this kind of higher time range. Um, in the daily chart, I don't see clear patterns yet because I don't have a clear POI, but I can leave it here just for orientation. Just for orientation, I will have this piece of information here. And wait for more price action again. For our chart, in the 4 hour chart, we had the clear move, but we don't get the entry trigger past week. I think that I scalped a good area, but I couldn't hold it. I was ending my trading session, so I didn't continue it. After this fake out the pattern and retest on the smaller time frames, it was a pretty good scope. If I could have the time to be a little more time on the charts, I think that on the weekend I will have cashed almost 60 pips. It was a nice move. Right now, isn't making a, a, a clear move. As indicators, price could go down to these areas and move further down, but we wait and see before committing to a side or placing the trades. If price start moving up in a risk on situation, we see the XY moving down. We're going to seek this area before taking a trade or even the daily chart on a higher move here, and it will confirm this pattern. On the 1 hour chart, we are going to look at patterns, and this is the most clear I think that I have seen. Yeah, this is the clear one that I have. Here we see that price has reacted to this area, so I will wait and see if I can have scalps tomorrow with this area. Going with a risk on environment and a strengthening of you see AU, looking for dollar strength. But I still not see that the clear pattern, so I will wait. Sometimes this gets invalidated, so I'm not going to start drawing now. I will wait for more price action during Asian and London session, start the London session. So as you see, markets aren't clear, so I have the time and I have the determination to stop. I will sit on the chart and look for my strategy, look for clear patterns and entries. But if market doesn't give me a clear signal or move, I'm not going to take a trade. I will wait. If I don't have the time to stop, I will wait for something clear, something that makes me feel comfortable, something that I can commit on having the most higher probabilities of working in the favor. Was expecting a move here. As you see, it's almost the same move as the 1 hour chart on AU, but I was still expecting a higher move up so I can draw my upper trend line in a good way. That's why I don't have my trend line here. That completed an ABC move most likely. That's why I have two indicators of this one will signal another thing. In this case, it doesn't, but sometimes when you have a clear reading now of the first move and you have an ABC, a clear ABC, sometimes it gives you the signal that a new wave, inclusive wave is in the process. So for our chart, for our chart, this look pretty good. I would like to see what the other. I would like to see what the other part of the indicator doesn't have. Oh yeah, you have an ABC move through, so we will be waiting to see if this updates. So this one, the 4 hour chart, it has a clear pattern. This is a volatile market, Japanese yen. So expecting a move toward this area, towards the 141, is not a difficult move. It's not something that is unexpected for me. I have seen moves like that in one night uh, or 2 days, 1, 2 days. So we have the case here. We have a movement of almost 4 cents. So Japanese yen gives you nice entries that if you can have it here, you have entered here. You had a nice swing trade that will make nice profits. Still, it's pretty volatile and something stop hunts you. So you need to have a good stop loss management so you can control your losses and have a good trading plan. So in my case, I like this pattern, how it looks. I will wait for more price action to see towards where it's heading this uh, higher time frame movement. In the 1 hour chart, I know that I'm looking at a nice area here that it has been retested, and I can expect this area to get retested too. So this area of 137.9, 138 will be a nice area to start during the Asian session or during London. We have confirmation to continue going down or a small stop of 20 or 30 pips. That's enough for having a good start of the day. So this is my analysis for the markets. In this channel, I, aside from the forecast that I've been giving some of the days, I don't have a schedule, so I'm a trader, so I don't have to be uh, with someone attached to. So I don't have the obligation to make forecasts. I'm going to do it to help others when I can, and to this helped me too, so I can focus more and know where I'm going to take my trades to analyze and see how I'm performing. But aside from this type of forecast that I'm going to do from time to time, the main focus, as the introduction video says, is to help traders in this stage that is so difficult. Is the same stage that I am, that is when you're starting to find some consistency and you are starting to see how the market works, understanding it better when you're looking at some things that have been working, but you still can't live with trading. But helping others is going to help you develop. In my case, you are going to observe God's willing, how I adapt as a trader, how I improve, how uh, I will eventually be living of trading. But giving some services to you, some tools that have helped me, and guiding some of you is going to help me develop and start making a good trading career. So I hope that all the information on this channel you find it helpful. Remember the disclaimer that we had at the start: trading is a risky investment. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving any financial advice. I'm not giving any recommendation to buy or sell. Is in my market opinions are mine, not the market opinions of the affiliate products, services, or brokerage that I have in my links. And if I'm not going to be liable for any losses that you experience, taking any uh, trade observations or opinion that I have, and you jump in on it without doing your own research and learning how to do it. So you can contact me on the comments, and I'm going to finish this video here, my first video. So anything that you want to know more, you can send it in the comments. So take care, everyone, and trade safe this volatile week.